Oh my gosh. All right, well, let's see if we can pull one of these off in an RV. Oh, there's my face. Hey, listen, everybody, I just wanted to jump on and take a couple minutes. We're pumping some gas in this 36 footer. And it gave me a little bit of time. We are also heading out with the family to a place where there is no service, and we can disconnect and we can make it all about each other, and we can reflect on the year that we just had. And I think that's really, really important. Look, newsflash, 2020 was a tough year for a lot of people. 2020 was full of tragedy and loss and changes and fear and tons of insecurity about finances and health matters and, you know, the zombie apocalypse, you name it. And this was something that wasn't just on a national level, man. We're talking about the planet, which I will tell you, for a 50-year-old man, this is unprecedented for my life. This sort of uncertainty and questions and doubt and, you know, the distrust towards, oh my God, towards the government, towards authority. I mean, it's just been one thing after another. But I will tell you that if we try to sift through all that stuff and we take a second, we can always find a silver lining in everything. We can always find something special and magical and full of worth. I mean, you're talking to a guy that literally his entire life has been a series of tragic events, a series of digging a hole and climbing his way up out of it. And I will tell you, when I look back on every single one of those events, even the ones where I thought, that's it, I don't want to move forward, I don't want to live anymore, I don't want this life. Even when I look back on that, I can find something important, something impactful. I can find certainly growth, but I can find something worth remembering in everything. So listen, as we go into 2021 and we're all talking about, hey man, I can't wait till this year's over, let's just take a second and think about all the time we got to spend with our family. Think about how magic 2021 is going to be just because of 2020. Let's sit back and let's not just bang the drum of how bad, how shitty last year was, because that's the easy stuff. That's what everybody's doing. That seems to be, you know how misery loves company. That seems to be what a lot of people are doing, but that's just not the experience that I had. Look, I made a permanent decision to grow an online business. I published a book. I wrote a book that made sure that I better grow an online business because nobody's ever going to want to employ me again. And it was about my deepest, darkest secrets. Now, look, COVID made sure that I couldn't go on a book tour. COVID made sure that I wasn't going to get to do signings, and the sales were down because of that. Inevitably, that is going to hinder the ability to get the message out. But I'll tell you that I have had the most amazing conversations with the people that have read the book. The thousands of people that have read the book. And what I've discovered is that my tragic story, that my bullshit, that my misery, my failures, my journey impacts people, that it's important, that it makes sense. I just had a conversation about a week ago with a guy from New Zealand who literally could not stop crying because my story reminded him of his relationship with his father and the connection that me and this relative stranger, before he read my book, but the connection that me and this relative stranger had is something that, wow. Sorry guys, something's going on here. I'm getting some feedback. Hey, listen, can you still hear me? I don't know what's going on there. I hope you can. I don't want to sit here and talk forever about... Yeah, what's alive without a little technical difficulty, right? Anyway, I've had conversations with people that have lost their children to drugs. I've had conversation with people that don't understand why their kids or their parents or their grandparents or whatever cannot stop using. I've had conversations with people that now kind of understand their sibling that's been in prison, and they've gotten enlightenment. And the bottom line is this: that book was very hard to put out. That book, I mean, the story itself was difficult to live through, but now I'm connecting with people on a level that most people never get to experience. And it's full of love, it's full of forgiveness, it's full of all the intangibles that people talk about, that tell you that's what life's really about, but they don't really experience it. Well, I'm having those experiences now. I had them in 2020. And it's all because I chose to step off the ledge and do something and find the silver lining in the worst experience of my entire life. So now that I've had the technical difficulty, now that I've rambled a little bit, let me say a couple things that might mean something. While you're going into this next year, while you're making your resolutions, while you're committing to all the changes you're going to make, commit to this. Commit to being the best person, the most thoughtful person, the most compassionate person that you can be. Because if 2020 taught us one thing, that's that we're all in this together. And there's people out there that have it way worse than you do. There's people out there that need something as simple as a smile, something as simple as maybe an extra 10% on their tip, or a conversation or a hug. There's people out there that you haven't talked to for a while that just need you to pick up the phone and say, hey man, I see you, I know how you feel, and I care. And I know that might sound flowery, and it might sound silly coming out of my mouth, but I'm going to tell you what, if we can commit to seeing the best of everybody and being the best of ourselves, then 2020 was not a bust. 2020 would have taught us that whatever we were doing before that, whatever direction we were going, whatever bipartisan bullshit we were all arguing about, whatever, thing that we were complaining about on the internet, none of that mattered when we thought we were going to have a global pandemic, when we had a global pandemic. So let's make 2021 not just a better year for ourselves. Let's make it a better year for anybody that we can come in contact with. So listen, I'm signing out for 3 days. I won't be back on this thing, but from me and my family, if you're listening to me, if you can hear my voice, we care. We give a shit. And I hope there's a chance that I can talk to each and every one of you. I see a few of you on there. Hey, Michelle White. Hey, Julie Yates. I can't really see because the sun's in there. But listen, I appreciate you guys listening to me rambling. We are going to have a fantastic time. I will see all of you next year. Be safe, be responsible, be kind to each other, okay? Take care.